Hi y'all, this is Jennifer, and I thought that I would give you a quick introduction to my A5 Touch Me in brown. Came a few days ago, and it's just completely gorgeous. I understand why they call this the Touch Me, because you can't stop touching it. It really is beautiful. So first off, let me get this out. I forgot. It's really flexible binder, very malleable, very unstructured. I don't know if I've ever seen a binder as unstructured as this one. And you either like that or you don't. We all have our personal preferences. This is a Spek organizer, and this particular model cannot be customized. So it is either in brown or you can get it in black. So let's just dive in. This one came with, on accident, it came with the 35mm rings. And for my taste, they're too big. I know some people do like having the 35mm rings in their Touch Me binders, but I'll show you. When you put in your items, it's just a couple of dividers and a page lifter, just to kind of give you an idea. They look fine, they fit fine, of course, but then when you shut, can you see that? Already it's happening. When you start to shut your cover of your binder, the dividers and even the page lifter start running right into your pen loop. Now, some people don't mind this. I just happen to be a gal that does. Some people fix it by going with the top divider, which is great too, but even if you do that, you're still going to have overlap, because I only have a couple of items on the rings, and imagine if you had a whole set of inserts. It's going to push them up and out. But again, if you need the 35mm rings and it doesn't bother you, then I say go for it. It's all, again, personal preference. So let me take those items out. And let me show you. Here is a secretarial pocket. It has a slip pocket. It has two small pockets in the front. This is all on the left side. Yet another slip pocket. And then a zippered pocket. Zippered pocket is pretty deep. It ends here. Can really put a lot, and it is gusseted as well. It is the interior pocket design that really attracted me to this particular Spek model, this Touch Me model. I just can't get over it. Moving on. So then you have 6 credit card pockets, a larger pocket, excuse me, at the bottom, a slip pocket, another secretarial pocket, and then a pen loop. The pen loop is elasticized, but as I will show you in a moment, it's not very big. Then, oh, it is the wallet back pocket. I mean, look at that sucker. It's huge. Huge. Fit a family of 5 in there. It's just a huge cave. I think it's the wallet pocket. The only wallet pocket that I have on a binder is my little pocket Filofax Malden, which I still has been sitting in a box since I bought it. And I just always wanted a larger binder with that back pocket. I'm busy. I'm a student. I went back to school to become an RN. But I was a teacher in a former life. And I just know this would have been really handy. It's handy. It will be handy now to put in full-length documents. Especially for meetings when I go to my son's school or when I go to different doctor's appointments. This is really going to come in handy. Okay. Moving on to the pen loop. As I said, it is, can you see that? It is elasticized. But even with this elastic, it doesn't hold a very large pen. This is a regular Pilot pen. It's called the Spek A5. It's a roller ball pen. And this does fit. Actually, it fits pretty easily. I'm just in a quite awkward position. Okay? So that fits just fine, right? And with time, the leather will stretch. The elastic band will stretch a little bit and it will come out in and out quite easily. But if you are a fan, I don't know what I did with all my, okay, there. If you are a fan of the Coletto, as I am, it had the 5-barrel and it has the rubberized grip. There is no way this puppy's going in here. It's just simply too large. Will not go in. Then, I even have just a regular size pen. It's nothing fancy. I think it's just a Papermate. Or excuse me, it's a Bic. But I really like having the rubberized grip. I write a lot and this really helps cushion. This won't fit in it either. I would, but I would be afraid that I'm going to pull these stitches out, so I don't even bother. I did pick up a pen from Pen Imports from the Netherlands, and that fits in pretty well. Again, I'm in an awkward position, and with time this will stretch out and this will fit in pretty well. And these are gorgeous pens, by the way. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Anyway, let's see. What else can I tell you? The leather on these, y'all, it's just incredible. I mean, can you see the graining? They are beautiful. Just fabulous. Really fabulous. And then the craftsmanship. I don't know if you can tell. Can you see that stitching? It's just perfect. I have never seen an organizer put together with such care. The Van der Spek family, they really know what they're doing. And then, of course, coupled with the phenomenal customer service, you really just can't go wrong. You really can't. As you can see, it does lie flat, which is a requirement of mine. I've had several binders, and if the binder does not lay flat upon opening it, it goes right back. I either sell it or I return it back to the company. I can't stand having a binder that, here's my Aspen, which I haven't sold yet. Look at that. Now for some people that doesn't bother them at all. They train in or they'll break back this. This one feels like it's cardboard. Some of them have plastic, some of them have cardboard and foam. It's just one continuous piece that's underneath this leather. I personally, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just sell the little sucker. Okay, and then it has the strap that, again, it flops up on top of you too, and I don't like that. Now, as far as the comparison with the leather, this Aston is really nice. Soft, feels good to the touch. And it doesn't compare though to this Van der Spek Touch Me. It really doesn't. Almost. They're both the natural, non-coated leather, which I appreciate. But this is just, it's butter. It's fabulous. Love it. Now, the Maldens, because a lot of us are fans of the Maldens. Things that bother me about the Malden. I bought both of these Filofax Maldens, same season, same year, and look how different they are. And this is the same color, the ochre. That, I don't like the lack of consistency, and it's not like it's a different graining that you would find on these different Vander Specs. When Petra gave me a choice, there was one that was smooth, there was one that was really, had a lot of grain, a lot of texture, and then there was this guy, and he was right in the middle. That is very different than this. And those are two very different colors on these Maldens. This is a Malden Personal, just to kind of compare the two. It doesn't have near the pockets that the Touch Me has. This just has the the 6. Nope, I was right. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 credit card. And then 2 little slip pockets, front and back, and then a little tiny zipper. And even on the A5, I did have the A5 Malden, which I have since sold. I don't quite understand the purpose of the zipper pocket, because they're just too narrow to actually use them for much. But as far as an unstructured binder, just to give you a little bit of a comparison, this is pretty unstructured as well. Very. Much like the Touch Me. Right? One thing that Malden has, and so does my Malibu, that I'm going to miss, is it has this pocket that you can slip your pad of paper. You can put the back cover of your, this one doesn't fit, but just to show you, put the back cover of your pad, slip it in, take it out, use it to take notes. That's how I usually typically use it. And then after you're done, take off the sheet and then put it, file it where you need to within the binder itself. I like that much more than opening up the rings of my binder in a meeting, or at, let's say, like I take theater classes with my husband, you know, taking out my rings and opening them up and pulling out my note sheet and snapping them back. That to me is just a big old pain. I'd rather just use my notepad. It's much easier to pull it out, stick it on top of my binder, right on my lap, put it back in, and then file it when I have time. Now, this may not have that back pocket, but really who cares, because it has every other pocket in the world imaginable where I can put my notepad. I could put it in the slip pocket, secretarial pocket. And then for those of you who are concerned of, you know, whether or not this will be too floppy, too unstructured, once you put in your papers, all of your inserts and your dividers and your page lifters, and then all your wonderful little goodies in your pockets and your slips, it will have structure. The nature of the paper being inside of your binder will give it structure. It will give it weight. It will give you a surface on which to write upon when you're without a desk. And look right here. I can't even bend it as far without ruining my notepad. So that, if that's what's holding you back, that this cover does not have a stiffener in it, you might want to consider just putting in your notepads, or it's just something else to think of. Okay, my Malibu. I can't get out of my Malibus. I will now that I have my Vander Specs, but the reason why I love the Malibu so much is because it has all of the requirements. It is an unstructured binder, but as you can see, you see that? It still has a nice defined front cover and back cover. It is thick enough to, move this over. It's thick enough to where it's nice and has structure to it. but it still bends back and forth. I can't do that little birdie trick because I've got too much in it and I don't want to ruin my rings. Here we go. See? Still very unstructured. Again, here's my pad of paper that I always slip in the back. I can't tell you how many times I use these. You know, there's another reason why. There have been several times where I am at a meeting and I open up my binder to, you know, wherever I need to, and I start writing on the last, you know, column or page where I have room. And I'll have people at the meeting, they'll read my notes. It's personal information. And gosh, that really bothers me. So another reason why I went to just a plain pad of paper is just to keep prying eyes away from what I wrote in my personal planner. People just astound me. I've had one particular woman who I'm not particularly fond of read all my to-dos and then start asking me personal questions about them. That just cracks me up. Anyway, moving on. So this is the Malibu, and I love this interior pocket setup. It actually is perfect. I don't use a lot of credit card. I don't use my binders as a wallet. It comes with me everywhere, but I have a separate wallet. So I typically just put my Post-its. I always use Post-its and flags. You know, silly little decorating things that just make me happy to look at. You know, color's important. Has the slip pocket. Has this fantastic, nice, look how far down. Can you see where my fingers are? It's not gusseted, but I haven't had issues with it. I typically put, I have stamps. I always carry some extra cash in here just in case. A prescription that needs to be filled. Things that, you know, they're private, but not so much so that, oh my gosh, the world will end if they get lost, but I also don't want them falling out. Here's another slip pocket. Again, it goes down to the very bottom. My finger is right here. Okay. And I put just different pages in here, and it'll be nice that once I fully move into my Spek A5 Touch Me, that I can put this whole entire piece of paper in my back wallet pocket, and it will not be folded. I don't have to fold it in half anymore. I like that. Yes, of course, when I take it out, it'll have some bending to it, but I don't mind that. You're going to get that anyway if I creased it in half. Okay, what else? Oh, the Malibu. The Malibu has two wonderful pen loops, and they're huge. They're just huge. I put my Coletto in with absolutely no problem. That is a perk of this binder. But on your custom, you can't get it on the Touch Me, but on the custom, I think it's 335, I believe is the number of the A5 manager. You can ask them to increase the size of your pen loop, and there is no additional charge. You can even request or order a second pen loop. There is a charge. I think it's like 1850 euros, something along those lines. But I think it would be well worth it. I honestly do. Okay, so that is my Malibu. Just to give a little bit of a comparison, if you do own a Malibu, this, my friends, is just a step up. You know, it's like going from Liz Claiborne handbags to, oh, I don't know, your Longchamps or your Coach, or this is luxury. And it really wasn't that expensive, I didn't think. Especially given that your rings, these are Krause rings, right? I don't know if you can see that, but these are replaceable. If for some reason something happens to my rings, they get bent, they start to separate, it's no big deal. I simply order a replacement set of rings. I take these out, I put in the new, and there you have it. My binder is still a product that I can use forever. It doesn't matter. So honestly, if I'm going to spend money on an organizer, a binder, a planner, whatever your word for it is, I want rings that I can replace, because if I'm going to spend $100, $150, $200, whatever the case may be for whatever model that you have, and then after using it for a couple months, my rings start to separate, and then when I turn my pages, they're catching on my rings, and then say worst comes to worst and they start to really become misaligned, well then this binder is just junk. It's a throwaway. What am I going to do with it? Because I will not use a binder that my pages catch on every time I flip them. So for me, having a good quality ring, which I have not been impressed by the Filofax, which is supposed to be an upper end planner organizer. I have not been impressed by their mechanism at all. And since being on all the different groups, the different planning boards, a lot of people have complaints or problems with their rings. And sometimes they can solve them and sometimes they can't. So if I'm going to spend money on an item that I use faithfully, that helps me keep my life organized and helps me get away from my procrastination, then I don't want it to be a throwaway item. I want to have choices. I want to be able to fix a problem, the rings, and yet still have my gorgeous leather, especially leather like this. This is a natural buffalo leather, and it is going to age so beautifully. It's going to get a patina just from my hands, the oils on my hands from use. The Maldens have like almost a plastic coating. You can even see or kind of hear it. These scratch, and I've never used this, so I can't say how it's going to age, but I can't believe it's going to age fairly well because it looks dry and it has that plastic coating. Now this Daytimer, as much as I love the Malibu, and oh my goodness y'all, I love my Malibus, I do. But again, this is not really fine leather. It's cute, it's pretty, it's sunshiny, but it's not anywhere near as fine a product as the Spek. This is just gorgeous. It truly is. So anyway, I have babbled long enough. I hope this helps y'all. I hope you run right out and buy one. Honestly, it's a great product. All right, y'all, have a great day. Bye-bye.